Good morning, good evening, ma'am.
Evening, everybody. Just a second, give me a minute. So,
Good evening, ma'am.
evening. Good evening to all of you. Am I visible to each one of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Amritanshu,
Good evening,
Amrashri.
ma'am.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Good, ma'am. How are you?
I am also good. Thank you so much.
It's great
And
to see you after such a long time, ma'am.
same here, same here. And it's good to know that you are preparing for civil services and you all will certainly succeed. So
Thank you,
good
ma'am.
evening to everyone, to Amritanshu, to Nishant, to Vatsala, to each one of you. A very warm good evening to everybody. So, see, as you know, that this PPT also shows, see, we are going to understand in today's class Indian society and social issues, right? I have not written here social justice, but we will be covering social justice as well, but not at this moment, and not even social issues right at this moment, because you people are focused for your PT, right? You're more into preliminary mode. So this particularly social issues, Indian society and social issue is the part of your GS paper 1. But what I want to tell you that you have to keep a tab on the newspaper, which are actually related to social issues as well, right? Certain if welfare policies are there, certain data are being shown, so such kind of news you have to keep a tab on your newspaper, right? You have to be updated and abreast with all the social developments which are taking place in the society, right? Secondly, social issues per se, we will be having a detailed and quite a in-depth understanding over the particular issues in our classes post your prelims, right? So that we will not miss the track. Now, let's see this. Is that slide changing?
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Yeah, so let's first quickly have a glance of the syllabus, that what actually Indian society and social issues talks about. See, in GS paper, you have to keep a very general understanding of Indian society and social issues. Now, what I mean to say a general understanding, that as a citizen of India, as you are going to serve your nation, as you are going to interact with the masses, so you should know the various markers of Indian society, that what constitutes Indian society, right? What is the structure of Indian society? What are its cultural markers? What are its social markers? What are its peculiar feature that sets apart Indian society, or it makes different, as compared to other societies of the world across? So this is what a general understanding you need to have. Now, vice versa, like if you are studying this particular topic, or if you are preparing for your optional sociology, then you need to have certain understanding, or you need to have, you can say that, with the in relation to the various thinkers, right? But in Indian society, as a general paper, as a part of your GS paper 1, you don't have to quote any of the thinkers as per se, even if you are a sociology student, even if you hail from the discipline of sociology. ठीक है, तो इस चीज का एक बहुत ही जनरल अंडरस्टैंडिंग रखना है कि हमें अपने जीएस पेपर में एकदम से ये शो नहीं करना है कि मैं जो हूँ सोशियोलॉजी, मैं डी स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स से पढ़ा हूँ, या मैं टीचिस से पास आउट हूँ, व्हाटसोएवर, राइट? यू जस्ट डोंट हैव टू शो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर पेपर, GS paper 1, that you are actually from the optional sociology. So you have to keep this also in mind. So you have to write a very general answer, which has to be substantiated with various facts, figures, various policies, welfare programs which a government is running, right? And also the pros and cons of it, a very balanced answer. So the syllabus per se of Indian society and social issues says, first is salient aspects of diversity of India and Indian society. So here you have to understand that what is Indian society, what comprises Indian society, what is society? That society is actually a collection of social groups, right, who interact together, who have a meaningful interaction in the social setting. So in that particular context, and how it leads to, this interaction actually leads to a diversity in India. So what are the salient aspects which actually adds to the domain of diversity in India, to the aspect of diversity in India? What are the markers which actually leads to diversity? Linguistic marker, cultural marker, social marker, gender, other social practices. So these all actually are the aspects of diversity, and which is a part of Indian society, right? So for example, how do you understand Indian society? Indian society, actually, it's a collection of social groups, and in that group, members of each society, they interact with each other. There's a continuous interaction, right? And a kind of interdependence is also there. Now, if somebody asks that, and it also gives a particular kind of a structure to the society, right? Now what are its features? For example, the very glaring feature, the typical feature of Indian society is, even whatever we say, it's actually the caste. So caste system makes the Indian society a peculiar kind of feature it gives to Indian society. So you have to write about caste also, that caste is a hierarchical arrangement or social order in the society, which was based on purity, on the belief of purity and pollution, which was based on division of labor, so on and so forth, which we will be doing in your classes, which I will be taking your post PT exam, right? Post PT classes. So this is actually, you have to understand that these are the features of society: cultural diversity, class, gender. These are the features of Indian society, and this in turn is going to add diversity in Indian society, right? So this is how you need to have a very general understanding. Now, the second topic, role of women and women's organization. This is one topic which is actually now coming into vogue, which has to be right from the beginning, but it is now one question you have to expect, and you can expect from this domain, right? The gender issues are very much in the larger society, in the academia as well, right? Because it is actually, when you are talking about role of women and women's organization, it is also shackling the various the stereotypes and prejudices in the society, and in turn it is making the society more and more inclusive. तो इसको इस तरह से समझना है कि हम अपनी सोसाइटी को, जो कि मे बी बहुत हायरार्किकल और स्ट्रक्चर्ड है, तो हम रोल ऑफ वुमेन को और वुमेन्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को, हम उनका पार्टिसिपेशन अपनी सोसाइटी में कैसे देखते हैं. So then population and associated issues. There are, this is particularly with demography. So demography and certain terms, for example, sex ratio, replacement ratio, then child sex ratio. These are the things which you have to keep a very nascent kind of understanding. You just don't have to go into it. But the point is that you should be aware with such terms, so that it gives you a perspective to understand that what are the changes taking place in the society, and also how these issues are important to understand your society, your country in relation to other country or the countries world across. Okay? Now, poverty and developmental issues. This is again a very important topic. You have to keep yourself abreast with these issues, poverty and developmental issues, with Yojana and Kurukshetra. ये जो है हमेशा कुरुक्षेत्र और योजना में specific आपको topics उस पे mention रहते हैं, और उससे related आपको इसको अपने answers को substantiate करना होता है. You have to understand the concept as poverty and also developmental issues. For example, what are the issues? What are the problems of urbanization? Is urbanization a bane or a boon kind? Or what are the issues associated with it? What is gentrification? So on and so forth, such kind of terms which you can understand. So, and how we can bring the marginal section of society, in the larger domain, or in various or participation in the society. ठीक है? तो poverty and developmental issues हम उससे context में, और जो भी अगर international कुछ development हो रहा है, कोई भी index के through, human development index के through, so on and so forth, that we will corroborate with this particular issue, particular topic, poverty and developmental issues, right? Next is effects of globalization on Indian society. Now, see, before moving further, I just want to, after this a brief introduction with the topics, I'll let you know and I'll tell you that what are the books which are important, right? And what is the basic reading which you have to go through. So before that, effects of globalization on Indian society, we all are now into globalized, rather we are into post-globalized phase, right? That we are into the time of interconnectedness, either you say through networking, either you say through digital and whatever mode. So, and obviously how it is impacting your Indian society, that how globalization per se, the process of, or the you can say the issue of interconnectedness, what it actually carries with itself, what is the larger understanding, that how your Indian society is changing with this connectedness, how your culture is getting somewhere diluted, how you're moving towards, you can say, a kind of globalization, global and cultural mixing of issues. So how it is leading to globalization. So effects of globalization on society, if I say, family is one feature, then how your family is affected. Caste is one feature of Indian society. How is caste is being affected by the process of globalization. So such are the markers or the aspects of Indian society which you have to demarcate, which you have to identify, that what are the features of Indian society and how it is being affected. For example, how globalization is affecting the larger understanding of gender, or the prejudices which are being prevalent in society, how it is also leading to social change in society. So these are the issues which we can understand in political, economic, social domain, right? Then urbanization, problems and remedies. It's a kind of very, you can say, you have to corroborate this particular topic with India yearbook, as well as Yojana and Kurukshetra. उसमें policies आते रहते हैं, कौन से वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स चल रहे हैं, वो आपको टाइम एंड अगेन उस पे टॉपिक पे फोकस रहता है. सो अर्बनाइजेशन एंड प्रॉब्लम्स अलोंग विद इट्स रेमेडीज, कि क्या क्या इश्यूज हैं अर्बनाइजेशन से, प्रॉब्लम्स क्या क्या हैं, पॉवर्टी से रिलेटेड है, इकोनॉमिक सोशल पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम्स क्या क्या है, रेमेडीज हम क्या प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, कौन से स्कीम्स चल रहे हैं जो हम उसको सॉर्ट आउट करते हैं प्रॉब्लम ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन को, क्या सैनिटेशन हो गया, या फिर हाउसिंग का प्रॉब्लम हो गया, एजुकेशन का प्रॉब्लम हो गया, हेल्थ का प्रॉब्लम हो गया, whatsoever, and what are the policies which a government is running. You have to keep a pro government approach, certainly, so what are the policies, what are the welfare programs, what are the various social programs which a government is running, and how it is actually affecting the marginal section of the society, the marginalized. Because urbanization not only affects the particular class, say higher class or lower class or middle class, whosoever, but with urbanization, the section of society that is the lower class, that is the people who are at the margin of the society, they are affected most, right? So you have to keep this in mind, and then along with problem, you have to provide a remedy. Then social empowerment, that what are the programs a government is running for social empowerment. When you talk about social empowerment, you have to categorize it right from the beginning, that what are the programs for, say for example, early childhood care, ECC के बारे में हमें कि बच्चे से शुरू करना है, right? So what are the program, how do you empower a child, right? Then how do you empower an adult? Then how do you empower an old age population? Then how do you empower the marginal section of society, the poor people, right? Then how do you empower, say for example, the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, right? So these are the empowerment for these sections of your society, and what are the programs which are in association, which are running for social empowerment. Then communalism, regionalism, secularism. You have to keep reading newspaper, build up a perspective, and for this, the particular this topic, communalism, regionalism, secularism, your NCRT is what I would say it's a Ramban kind, So this particular topic, that communalism, regionalism, and secularism. So questions are asked such as how secularism, what is secularism? How secularism, the Indian understanding of secularism is different from Western understanding of secularism. What is communalism? How communalism is different from regionalism? So such kind of questions are asked to you. And for this, you need to go through class 12th NCRT. Class 12th NCRT Sociology ki Social Change and Development in India. This book is very, very important. So you have to go through it, see, I can sieve out the chapters. I can tell you the chapters that what to read, what not to read. But for preliminary reading, for once, you have to go through this book, right? And the other one, Indian Society. ठीक है, ये दोनों ही बहुत important है, इसके बिना चलना नहीं है, right? So these two books are very, very important, right? Indian Society and Social Change and Development in India, right? So for this particular topic, communalism, regionalism, secularism, your NCERT is the best. You have to go through it, that how communalism is different from regionalism. What is the concept of son of the soil, that क्यों ऐसा हम proclaim करते हैं that Bihar for Biharis, Maharashtra for Marathis. So from where this is coming up? What are the issues which is giving rise to regionalism? Is this the distribution of resources, the capitals, right? Or how regionalism turns into communalism, how it is emotionally charged, how it leads to violence, when it creates problem. Keeping affiliation to your community is not a problem, right? But when this affiliation leads to violence, when this affiliation leads to emotionally charged behavior, that is what is problematic. So you have to corroborate this particular section with recent developments and along with certain illustrations, examples, and read NCERT. That I would suggest that it is quite good, right? So, yeah. Now, after this, so these two books are important. Indian Society and Social Change and Development in India. Another book which I prefer and I read mostly, which are not in vogue still, I think, but this book is very good. You can also refer this book specifically for gender, women in Indian society. ये बहुत जनरल सी बुक है. ये आप आराम से इसको नीरा देसाई जो बहुत अच्छी एकेडमिक्स में इनको जाना जाता है, ये एनबीटी की बड़ी सस्ती सी बुक है और अच्छा लगता है. आप इसको पढ़ेंगे भी तो ये आपको पर्सपेक्टिव देगा. You have topics like women and work. So how do you associate women and work? Now, how do you empower women through education? So it has also traced certain historical developments which you can corroborate in your answer. Women and law, that what are the laws which are actually empowering women? Then actions for change. So there are certain, and empowering women through education, which is very, very important, which you can go through it. So this also women and family, that how what is the positionality of a woman and family, how it is leading to change, how globalization has affected the positioning of women in society, so on and so forth. So this book also you can refer. Now, another is, that material I don't have right now, that is IGNU material. That we will be sharing. Either Amit sir will share or I will share on your WhatsApp group, that IGNU material, right? So this much of material, this much of print material for you is enough as a teacher, if I am suggesting to you, because you just don't have to dive into an ocean which is very, very vast, right? So keep yourself restricted and develop a perspective. Along with this, you have to read India yearbook. You have to corroborate your facts and figures with and issues, various changing issues, that is, which are being covered in Yojana and Kurukshetra. ठीक है, तो ये एनसीईआरटी की बुक्स हो गई. ये आपका जो है इग्नू का मटेरियल हो गया, क्योंकि वो आपको एक स्ट्रक्चर दे देता है, एक आंसर को कैसे पॉइंट फॉर्म में डालना है. दूसरा आपका इंडिया ईयर बुक हो गया, और another is your Yojana and Kurukshetra, and this book that is by Neera Desai and Usha Thakkar, Women and Indian Society. I do not suggest you to read Ram Ahuja and other books, because Ram Ahuja, I personally find it very, what I would say, it has, you would not feel very, excited after reading it, because there are many figures are given into it. So I would not suggest, the concepts which Ram Ahuja, that particular book, has talked about, that's enough, and it's quite well given in your NCERT. So I would not suggest, and I would not recommend for Ram Ahuja, because I have personally not liked that book and I have never referred it. So this is your study material, which you have to largely focus keep a tap on newspaper. That is very very important for social issue, right? एकदम उसको लिखना है कि कोई कुछ भी, अभी जैसे recently feminization of agriculture पे आपके न्यूज़पेपर में कवर किया हुआ था, तो आप उस पे भी ये विमेंस डे पे, इंटरनेशनल विमेंस डे पे बहुत सारे इश्यूज आए थे, विमेन को कैसे एम्पावर करना है, तो उस पे एक फेमिनाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर पे था कि बिकॉज farmers protest are going on. You also need to know that what is the difference between peasant and a farmer. That is being quite well given in your NCERT book, sociology, right? So such kind of issues you need to focus, or you need to include through newspaper, right? Now next, how it is relevant, how this particular paper social issues are relevant. See, social issues are equally relevant for your PT, but it is not it's not in exact or in real sense the way we are talking about, but it is through various conceptual understanding and facts and figures, जो कि आप newspaper से उसको incorporate करेंगे, ठीक है? Now, relevance of social justice paper, I have not, largely discussed here, but social justice paper, actually, it is a part of GS paper 2, and it helps in essay as well. Now, see, the sociological understanding actually helps you in writing. Actually, it gives you an edge in expressing your answer, right? So it is very, very relevant in GS paper 1 and as well as GS paper 2, right? Because you have developed quite a better understanding about your society, and that society which you feel that you are going to serve, right? Which you feel as a prospective bureaucrat. So you are going to serve it, right? So therefore it has immense relevance. The paper has immense relevance, including social justice in essay and in your answer writing as well. So what are the issues which you have to take care while you are going through social justice paper? That welfare schemes for the vulnerable and the marginalized sections, right? And the schemes, laws, institutions, what are the bodies which are being instituted for this section of the society? Then what are the issues, what are the concepts related to development, management of social sector, services, education, human resource, which keeps coming these days, ease of doing business, and then development index, happiness index. You just have to incorporate it in your answer, right? And then issues relating to poverty and hunger, kind of it is overlapping, but here in social justice, we more have to include in our answer the constitutional frameworks and also the policies and welfare programs, largely in this particular paper. Okay. Now, suggested reading. So these are the suggested reading: NCERT, Understanding Society, class 12 book. 11th also you can go through, because 11th ka jo first part hai book ka, that is Understanding Society, that gives you a larger understanding of what is society, what is community, what is association. Utna hi depth mein jana nahi hai, but largely what is society, wo first book is good for you all to understand society. NCERT की 12th की जो book है वो दोनों ही बहुत important है, because it covers very very relevant issues, very very relevant topics, और ये आपको पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. And read it. Just don't think that if you have read it once, then you are through with it. You have to repeat it, keep reading, keep underlining, and keep noting also, because each time you read NCERT, each time you develop a new understanding, right? So for example, in social change and development in India, structural change is also important. See, this is the very first chapter, structural change, and other teachers would suggest that no, it is not important, it is not relevant, but I would suggest you to read this structural change, that how the antiquity, the historical development has actually shaped our society, how colonialism has shaped our society at large, how it has affected our traditions, how it has affected our traditional art and craft, how it has affected our economy, why urbanization, which started happening right from colonial period, right from British era, but why it didn't happen at the same pace the way it happened in England, right? So this has been given quite well in the first chapter itself, is structural change. So it's you have to go through this chapter as well as structural change. एक बस chapter आता है आपका जो कि research related ये chapter है, वो आपको छोड़ देना है, that you just don't have to go through. That is given in Indian Society, the first book of class 12, Indian Society जो ये वाली book है, इसमें chapter 7 suggestions for project work है, you just don't have to go through. This is not relevant for you all, but right from first chapter, introducing Indian society and demographic structure. This is again very good. Social institution, continuity and change, at how caste is taking new form in India, how caste is assuming new identity in India. These are all given in your NCERT book. Patterns of social inequality and exclusion, and challenges of cultural diversity, that how communalism, why communalism is in vogue, why regionalism is rising day by day. So such issues are given here in your NCERT. So NCERT has to be base for time and again reading. You have to update yourself with newspaper, India yearbook, relevant chapters on welfare, justice, law, and education, that Amit sir will also let you know. And in my particular classes, I will also let you know that what are the chapters which are important for this particular section. Okay. And IGNU booklets you can corroborate with BA program, which is on sociology. Now let's have a quick look of some of the questions. Right. For example, the first one, has caste lost its relevance in understanding the multicultural Indian society? Elaborate your answer with illustration. You know, that how caste is losing its relevance. See, you have to understand that you first have to define caste. That what is caste? How caste has been, based on, it is based on division of labor, it was based on the concept of purity and pollution, but it is asking that how has caste lost its relevance in understanding the multicultural Indian society? That means here you have to trace, you have to understand that how caste is assuming a kind of new identity, how caste you are understanding with continuity and change. Now, why I'm saying continuity and change? That caste is still very, very relevant. Still, you and me talk about caste. We are very much particular about our caste identity, but yet it has assumed a new role. अब ये न्यू रोल क्या है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम देखते तो पॉलिटिकल अगर हम ट्रेस करते, सो पॉलिटिकल जब हम बात करते तो कास्ट के बेसिस पे पॉलिटिक्स होता है, कास्ट के बेसिस पे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज बनती हैं, कास्ट के बेसिस पे बिजनेस एसोसिएशंस होते हैं, ठीक है? Not only this, even in past, narkatiyars were the, trading people in ancient India, and that was actually based on caste identity. So caste has, it is very much part of continuity. It is very much relevant in Indian society still, but it is relevant with a changed face, and the change phase is that politically it is also assuming a new role, है ना? बहुजन समाज पार्टी ये कास्ट के बेसिस पे, ये भीमसेना कास्ट के बेसिस पे. Not only this, now on the basis of caste, people are also demanding reservation, right? Other castes also, they are demanding reservation on the basis of caste identity. Yet there is new, changing pattern pertaining to caste, that, a caste, it is said, and many thinkers and also, larger, it is largely in the discourse, that caste is for upper class people, or for higher caste or for higher class, both I'm saying. It is, they don't want to go with their caste identity. You will read this in your sociology book also, in your NCERT book also. It's very well written also. And for the marginalized sections, say for example, the people who have been, who have been deprived of their social, cultural, and political capitals, they try to, or they assume, they want to enforce their caste identity, and they want to go with their caste identity. So this is a new change in Indian society, which is seen. So this is yet again, and so caste has not lost its relevance in multicultural society. Rather, it is coming up with various of with different face. It is assuming another kind of association, which is somewhere, it is, you can say that it is developmental also, because if political parties are formed on caste line, then of course certain section of the society or particular caste of our society has been given more attention. So yes, it uplifts them, right? There are you can also criticize, or you can also take another stand, that the positive discrimination which the Constitution of India actually follows, or which our government follows in order to uplift the marginal, the marginal section of the society, it has not been now properly used. It is also leading to a kind of elite creation of elite caste, even in the marginalized, or even in the backward castes, or even in the deprived section of the society. So wahan pe bhi ek eliteness aa raha hai. For example, if I talk about, say for example, the scheduled tribes. Now when I talk about this particular tribe, say for example the tribes named Meena, Rajasthan mein jo hai, so they have quite well benefited by this caste reservation. Similarly, the certain or even you take the scheduled castes, so they are here also, there is a creation of elite, right? Why? Because certain section of the certain layer, or one layer of caste has actually used this reservation, and therefore they are gaining enough opportunity by this particular reservation. But yet there are another section who are still very backward, and they are not in the fold of reservation. तो ये change जो dimension है, ये आपको यहाँ पे अपने answers के through आपको दिखाना है. वो आपको politically भी trace करना है, आपको economically भी trace करना है, आपको socially भी trace करना है कि ये अभी भी relevant है, कि intercaste marriages से जो है caste dilute हो रहा है धीरे धीरे, but it is diluting not at various fronts such as associations जो business line पे form होते हैं, वैश्य सभा, ठीक है. तो ये जो वेरियस बिजनेस एसोसिएशंस भी आज जो फॉर्म होते हैं वो कास्ट के बेसिस पे फॉर्म हो रहे हैं. पार्टी जो है वो पॉलिटिक्स में भी जो है, ये हम इवन इन वोटिंग आल्सो कास्ट बेस्ड पॉलिटिक्स जो होता है, जो हम वोट भी करते हैं, वो हम उसी क्राइटेरिया पे, कास्ट के क्राइटेरिया पे करते हैं. सो यू हैव टू राइट दिस, दैट दो वी हैव अ मल्टीकल्चरल इंडियन सोसाइटी एंड caste is its unique feature, and it hasn't lost its relevance, rather it is reappearing with its changed face, right? So that you have to in this way you have to approach certain kind of answers. Now COVID-19 pandemic accelerated class inequalities and poverty in India comment. I would not take up this answer because I've already uploaded one video on on Amit SINHA'S Academy का जो channel है, YouTube channel है, you can see there. I've already uploaded, so I'll not take this. You can see that. Now, do you agree that, I'll just take one or two questions. Do you agree that regionalism in India appears to be consequences of rising cultural assertiveness? Argue. That we'll take up later, once we are into this particular topic. Is diversity and pluralism in India under threat due to globalization? Justify your answer. Now, when such kind of justify your answer, such kind of questions comes, you have to write your answer with illustrations, with examples. Is diversity and pluralism in India under threat due to globalization? Now, first you have to identify the keywords of a question. Now, the keywords here are diversity, the keywords here are pluralism, and the keyword here is globalization. So you have to then link it. कि diversity हमारे country में क्या है? What are the markers of diversity in India? How diversity is actually leading to the pluralism in India, right? And this pluralism in India is actually based on various cultural, social markers, educational, gender-based markers, right? It is adding to pluralism in India. And then you have to understand this diversity is actually, or this pluralism is actually is different from inequality, right? Inequality, why? Because it is it is adding unique feature in society, that yet we are diverse, but still we are united, right? So these are the things which you have to understand and which you have to express in your answer as well. Now, when you are addressing such kind of questions, that how it is leading to threat, how it is under threat, then you have to take both the stand, in pro as well as in cons, or in favor, or as of against. So your conclusion should show a very balanced paragraph that, the globalization is affecting our diversity because we are diverse on the basis of our family. ठीक है, हमारे यहाँ पेट्रियार्की तो है ही, बट हमारे यहाँ पेट्रीलिनियल सोसाइटी भी है, हमारे यहाँ मेट्रीलिनियल सोसाइटी भी है। मतलब हमारे यहाँ सोसाइटी जो है वो लीनियज जो हम ट्रेस करते हैं वो हम मदर के साइड से भी ट्रेस करते हैं, फादर के साइड से भी ट्रेस करते हैं। लार्जली नॉर्थ इंडियन सोसाइटी इज पेट्रीलिनियल, बट the northeastern society, the northeastern states, they are matrilineal society. How globalization is affecting family, how globalization is affecting your caste identity, how globalization is affecting your kind of work. For example, if I say caste based work, अब जो है बार्बर, जो नाई का काम होता था, अब अगर आप ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में देखें तो वहां पे बार्बर जो है का जो काम है, हेयर कटिंग का जो काम है, वो केवल अब जो नाई जो कास्ट के लोग होते थे, जो बार्बर कास्ट के लोग होते थे, अब केवल वही नहीं अज्यूम कर रहे हैं। इवन पीपल फ्रॉम अदर कास्ट ऑल्सो, they are also into different profession. So this globalization has enlarged the understanding of profession as well. It is now not compartmentalized on the basis of caste. So it is also leading to a kind of, affecting our globalization is affecting our caste based identity as well. So you have to keep a very balanced answer, right? कि ये threat, अगर threat है तो कैसे है that we are diluting our various cultural and social practices. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो हम रिचुअल्स मैरिजेस में करते थे, जो 10-15 दिन का रिचुअल्स होता था, नाउ इट हैज कम टू जस्ट अ डे, right? For example, the role of pandits that have also, these days diminished, or it has also changed, you can say. How that pandits were, they were largely seeked, or their services were largely seeked for matchmaking, है ना? शादी ब्याह में हम लोग पंडितों का बहुत उनकी खोज होती थी कि भाई कुंडली मिलाइए तो हम शादी होगा, या कोई अच्छा कोई पात्र बताइए हमारे लड़के के लिए या लड़की के लिए। तो ये जो रोल है अब ये बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ग्लोबलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड इट हैज बीन टेकन बाय मैरिज ब्यूरोज, है ना, भारत मैट्रिमनी, तो सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ। सो दिस आर द इफेक्ट ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन, एंड दिस इज इन अ वे इट इज आल्सो अफेक्टिंग द सर्विस सेक्टर और सर्विस क्लास ऑफ आवर सोसाइटी एज वेल। तो दिस वन यू हैव टू incorporate in your answer, and don't be afraid of that ye understanding humko kaise aayegi. Once you go through NCERT, you'll develop a good perspective over over this particular section of your GS paper, and you'll be able to write quite well your answers as well. So quickly let me move out what else I could, Question number 6, for example, how have digital initiatives in India contributed to the functioning of education system in the country? Elaborate your answer. So online system, digital initiatives, ये आप MOOCs ले लो, MOOCs, और आप simulations ले ले, या आप online audio visual materials ले ले। ये सब कैसे एजुकेशन सिस्टम को अफेक्ट कर रहा है? आपको इस पे दोनों स्टैंड रखना है। दैट इंडिया इज ऑल्सो नोन बाय इट्स विलेजेस, है ना, हमारे यहाँ रूरल अर्बन डिवाइड अभी भी है प्रेजेंट, और ये कोविड-19 के समय ये बहुत स्टार्क हो गया है। इट इज वेरी वेरी विजिबल. So when you say it is very stark, that and or you also have to trace that how this digital benefits are not reaching to the masses, right? कि और यही नहीं, ये अर्बन, ये रूरल सोसाइटी की रियलिटी नहीं है, ये अर्बन सोसाइटी की भी रियलिटी है. The help, the domestic help, I'm telling you one example. The domestic help who comes at my place. Today morning, I was going to my department, and there in the morning she was actually carrying a bundle of papers and project work and all. So she said, भाभी देखिए, मैम देखिए, ये जो है ये मेरे बच्चे से इतना काम करा है. शी इज इन क्लास 4th or 5th, और वो काम करते करते बिल्कुल थक गई है. तो उन लोगों का तो ऑनलाइन क्लास ऐसा होता नहीं है. शी इज इनटू अ गवर्नमेंट स्कूल, तो पर वो काम दे देते हैं और वीकेंड पे वो काम लेते हैं. सो this online, this digital initiative is again leading to a kind of class divide, that the urban elite class are they are benefited more as compared to the marginalized section of the society yet again. ठीक है, तो ये सब चीजें आपको ट्रेस करना है. अगेन हाउ इट इज अफेक्टिंग योर एजुकेशन सिस्टम. तो NIOS जो है आपका वो ऑनलाइन मोड बहुत ज्यादा यूज करता है, बिकॉज देयर इज नो इंटरेक्शन विथ देयर इज नो इंटरेक्शन बिटवीन टीचर एंड द टॉट. स्टूडेंट और टीचर के बीच कोई भी इंटरेक्शन नहीं होता है, तो वहां पे वो ऑडियो विजुअल मटेरियल का यूज करते हैं. तो ये डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव है. तो ये गवर्नमेंट की और भी क्या स्कीम्स है एजुकेशन में जो डिजिटलाइजेशन की ओर प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है. ये सारी चीजें जो है आप अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग से इसमें डालेंगे, एंड यू विल आल्सो ट्रेस दैट हाउ इट इज लीडिंग टू अ काइंड ऑफ class divide also, and you have to understand the rural urban divide also. So such kind of questions, for example, question number 5 is also you can see that it's a kind of different, or one different term has been used largely. Customs and traditions suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. Do you agree? Now when such kind of questions are asked, like do you agree, तो agree में एकदम नहीं कर देना हाँ मैं agree करती हूँ या ऐसा हो रहा है. नहीं, आपको एक बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच लेना है. मैं अग्री भी करती हूँ, मैं नहीं भी अग्री करती हूँ. थोड़ा सा पॉजिटिव भी बताना है, थोड़ा सा क्रिटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव भी डालना है. क्योंकि अगर आप एकदम से लिखेंगे आपका आंसर अगर ये लगेगा कि हाँ ये बिल्कुल अग्री कर रहा है, दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट राइट, बिकॉज इट गिव्स यू वन पर्सपेक्टिव. तो हमें एक होलिस्टिक पर्सपेक्टिव किसी भी इशू पे बनाना है कि कस्टम एंड ट्रेडिशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगेन यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द कीवर्ड्स. कस्टम क्या है, ट्रेडिशन क्या है, ऑब्सक्यूरेंटिज्म क्या है. Right, so custom is tradition. First I'll come. Tradition is an umbrella term that those rituals, those customs, those practices which are repeated again and again and which are transferred from one generation to another generation, that becomes tradition. Right, that becomes tradition. So custom, and after understanding custom and tradition, you have to understand that how it is leading to obscurantism. Now what is obscurantism? Obscure का मतलब होता है ढक जाना, छिप जाना, right, being obscured. So it is just that how this custom and tradition which are being backed by religion, which has a religious basis, how it is leading to obscurantism. That is how your understanding, your belief is not ओपनिंग टू ऑल दी डायमेंशंस. कैसे आप ये आपकी सोचने और समझने की क्षमता को कहीं ना कहीं बहुत संकीर्ण कर देता है, राइट, बहुत ही रेस्ट्रिक्टेड कर देता है. तो ये आपको अपने कस्टम और ट्रेडिशन से इसको ट्रेस करना है. अब क्या ट्रेस करना है, क्या ये करता है, तो आपको एक बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच देना है कि जब हम अगर बहुत ही ज्यादा रिलीजियस हो, for example, if I am too much into religious or ritual practices, then for example it's also leads to a kind of gender stereotype or stereotyping. For example, gender stereotyping, for example, patriarchal mindset. So these are also one aspect. For example, menstruation, पीरियड्स जो है लड़कियों में, मेंस्ट्रुएशन, वो आज भी हम जो है वो से अपने स्टीरियोटाइप्स और प्रेजुडिस मेंटालिटी से रख के जोड़े हुए हैं, व्हिच इज वेरी मच अ पार्ट ऑफ बायोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट. बट इसे आज भी हम रिलीजियस बैकिंग के थ्रू जोड़ के रखे, भाई पूजा नहीं करेंगे, हम किचन में नहीं जाएंगे. और अभी रिसेंट हमको लगता है year of just before COVID, one case was there that how a girl was forced to sleep outside and how she died. So these are the things which you can understand, that how such kind of practices has religious backing, which is leading to a kind of conservatism, which actually leads to obscurantism. Ye karta hai obscurantism. But there are certain customs and traditions in our society which is its unique feature. For example, syncretism. For example, the feature of tolerance. For example, सर्व धर्म संभव. For example, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. ये सारे जो फीचर्स हैं हमारे इंडियन सोसाइटी के, ये कभी भी अगर आप इसको फॉलो करेंगे तो ये आपको ऑब्सक्यूरेंटिज्म की ओर नहीं लेके जाएगा. Indian philosophy never talks you about obscurantism or being dogmatic. Dogma leads to obscurantism, but following larger practices which actually leads to services of community never leads you obscurantism. For example, if अगर हम सिख community की बात करें, अगर वो लंगर चराते हैं, वो उनके धर्म से ही जुड़ा हुआ है, पर वो कहीं भी ऑब्सक्यूरेंटिज्म नहीं है, नहीं दर्शाता. क्यों? बिकॉज दे आर सर्विंग देयर कम्युनिटी, बिकॉज दे आर सर्विंग द लार्जर कम्युनिटी एट लार्ज, राइट? सिमिलरली Hindu tradition, it never leads to you to obscurantism unless it is backed by prejudice and stereotypes. ठीक है? और ये डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी बिहेवियर में शो होता है. आपका prejudice and stereotype, it is visible through discriminatory behavior. भाई मैं छोटी जात की महिला से तो अपने घर में खाना नहीं बनवाऊंगी, कुक से खाना नहीं बनवाऊंगी. ये आज भी प्रेवलेंट है, इवन इन अर्बन सोसाइटी एंड ऑल्सो इन रूरल सोसाइटी एज वेल. अगर कूड़ा उठाने जो सफाई कर्मचारी हैं, जो दीदी हैं, जो भी अगर पानी मांग दो तो हमें घर में ढूंढना पड़ता है एक गंदा सा बॉटल, है ना, देने के लिए. ठीक है, हम मानते हैं कि हमें उनसे जो काम वो कर रहे हैं हमें उससे डिस्टेंस क्रिएट करना है, परंतु अगर आप एक ग्लास पानी उनको दे देंगे तो आपका बर्तन, आपका यूटेंसिल्स जो है वो ऐसा नहीं है कि इम्प्योर हो जाएगा. ठीक है? सो अनटचेबिलिटी इज illegal. It is absolutely banned in our country, but these are still prevalent in our society in a very subtle manner, which you and me have to understand and have to bring larger change in the society by understanding such issues. So it never leads to obscurantism. How you have to favor, and which leads to obscurantism, the stereotyping, the prejudices, the dogmatic belief system, that leads to obscurantism. That you have to mention a very balanced answer. ठीक है, क्विकली हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. इसी तरह क्वेश्चन 2019 का मेंस का क्वेश्चन था, empowering women is the key to control population growth. So you have to write that how, when you make a woman aware, when you teach a girl in a family, when you teach a woman in a family, because woman creates family creates society, community, and that in turn nation, that community at large. Nation को हम अपने concept of nation को हम community at large से समझते हैं. So if you want to see your community developing and towards a developmental path, then you have to make your women empower. And how you empower your women? That is through social, cultural, political, that is पढ़ाई शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में, एजुकेशन से उन्हें प्रोफेशन में, किसी पर्टिकुलर प्रोफेशन में आप उनको कंपार्टमेंटलाइज ना करिए कि टीचिंग ही प्रोफेशन लो, भाई लड़कियों के लिए टीचिंग ही अच्छा है ना. आप जब सिविल सर्विसेज का फॉर्म भर रहे हैं तो उसमें आप लड़कियां जो हैं वो नहीं चाहती कि हम आईपीएस बने. सो सच काइंड ऑफ awareness you have to make aware also, and you have to change the mindset through education. And then by making them aware, by teaching them, you are actually bringing the girls in the working domain. See, all women are working. There is not a single woman who is not found to be working. अगर वो काम नहीं करेंगी कि तो देश की इकोनॉमी नहीं चलेगी, जीडीपी गिर जाएगा. Each and every woman are women of this country, they are working, but some of them are working in the paid domain, some are not working in the paid domain, which are not recognized on the larger world platform. That is household chores. So the point is that how you empower women. तो एजुकेशन के थ्रू जब आप उनको एम्पावर करते हैं तो वो शिक्षा की तरफ जाते हैं, वो उनका मैरिजेबल एज जो है वो उसको एक्सटेंड कर देता है. ठीक है, और जब उनका मैरिजेबल एज एक्सटेंड हो जाता है तो उनके अंदर करियर एस्पिरेशंस भी आ जाते हैं, राइट? सो सच काइंड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, such kind of practices, such kind of efforts, actually it extends the marriageable age and so the fertility rate. ठीक है, ये भी उसको अफेक्ट करता है, एस्पिरेशंस को अफेक्ट करता है. Not only that, it also, when you teach a woman, actually it also opens their horizon. They become quite vocal. It gives them an agency. It gives you an agency, an authority to take decision in your life. And also you start participating at various fronts in the society. For example, political participation women का बढ़ जाता है, social participation बढ़ जाता है, political participation, not just participating as a voting in terms of voting right, but in fact participating as a candidate, right? So it empowers women socially, economically, politically as well, and which in turn which controls the population growth, that it controls fertility rate, it actually extends the marriageable age. यहाँ आपको कॉर्पोरेट करना होगा वेरियस गवर्नमेंट की जो स्कीम्स है जो गर्ल्स के लिए चलाई जा रही हैं वो सारे आपको यहाँ पे लिखने होंगे। जैसे कि बिहार में साइकिल दिया जाता है लड़कियों को सीनियर सेकेंडरी एग्जाम को पूरा करने के लिए। सुकन्या समृद्धि योजना जो है वो कैसे वो करता है पेरेंट्स को कि आप अपनी लड़कियों को पढ़ाइए, अगर इतना आप इस क्लास तक पढ़ाएंगे तो आपको इतने पैसे दिए जाएंगे। सो these are the efforts which are being taken by the government to actually control population also. In other, it is not very implicit, but it is in other way around. Okay, so for example, see, just now I discussed that how caste is assuming new identity. So it has been asked in 2018 also that caste system is assuming new identities and associational forms. Hence, caste system cannot be eradicated in India. Yes, because it is based on your, it gives you identity. You know, the caste is actually your ascribed identity, right? So ascribed identity, caste is ascribed identity, class is achieved identity. So ascribed identity जो है वो it cannot be eradicated, but yes, it has changed another form, another identity, which could be beneficial also. Beneficial when you are actually, जैसे मैंने बोला कि politics के caste based politics जब होता है, अगर हम party formation caste के basis पे करते हैं, तो yes, in their agenda, you know, political parties actually focus on a particular community, which is so-called maybe you know, deprived socially, culturally, educationally, so it actually uplifts a particular community. ठीक है, तो इस तरह से जो है ये beneficial भी होता है. So you have to take both this time. So similarly, in 2017, such in the context of diversity of India, can it be said that the region from cultural units, in the context of the diversity of India, can it be said that the regions form cultural units rather than the states? Give reason with example for your viewpoint. Now, again, when you'll go through NCERT, इसमें आपको बहुत अच्छे से ये मिलेगा chapter में, which is given in your Indian society textbook, which is textbook 1, and this is given in your chapter number 6, challenges of cultural diversity. इसमें ये perspective आपको मिल जाएगा. तो it is saying that, you know, how, see, we have Indian society is based on various cultural and social markers, है ना. तो ये कल्चरल सोशल मार्कर्स केवल आपके कास्ट के लाइन पे ही नहीं है, बल्कि आपके लिंग्विस्टिक के बेसिस पे भी है, लैंग्वेज के बेसिस पे भी है, एथनिसिटी के बेसिस पे भी है. ठीक है, तो ये लिंग्विस्टिक और एथनिसिटी भी जो है वो एक यूनिक फीचर ऐड करता है इंडियन सोसाइटी पे में. तो कास्ट की फॉर्मेशन के लिए फर्स्ट स्टेट विच वाज फॉर्म्ड, स्टेट की फॉर्मेशन के लिए द फर्स्ट स्टेट विच वाज फॉर्म्ड द स्टेट ऑफ हैदराबाद, यू नो, एंड पट्टाभी सीतारामल्लू के इंसिडेंट से जो है वो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन, स्टेट रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन कमीशन बनता है 1950s में, एंड विच एक्चुअली you know, enhances the process of state formation, okay, on the basis of various cultural markers, on the basis of various linguistic and ethnic identity. जैसे कि झारखंड है ना, बिहार और झारखंड का जो सेपरेशन होता है वो लिंग्विस्टिक आइडेंटिटी और एथनिक आइडेंटिटी दोनों के बेसिस पे होता है, क्योंकि झारखंड जो है अब ट्राइबल डोमिनेटेड है और बिहार नहीं था, तो वो दोनों लिंग्विस्टिक और एथनिक दोनों आइडेंटिटी के बेसिस पे स्टेट का डिवीजन होता है. नाउ यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज नॉट द ओनली पैरामीटर कि हम स्टेट को अगर डिवाइड कर देते हैं उनके लिंग्विस्टिक और एथनिक आइडेंटिटी के बेसिस पे, तो वहां काम खत्म हो गया है ना, कि हम कंपार्टमेंटल हो गए, कंपार्टमेंटलाइज हो गए कि भाई झारखंड एसटी का ही है तो वहीं पे ही उनका जो है लोकेलिटी है या वहीं वो लोकलाइज्ड है. ऐसा नहीं है. देयर आर इवन after the formation of states on the basis of various social cultural markers or linguistic markers, we still find cultural units in various states. For example, आपको for example rice eating belt तो केवल बिहार ही नहीं है या केवल बंगाल ही नहीं है, बल्कि नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स भी जो हैं, उड़ीसा भी जो है वो एक राइस ईटिंग बेल्ट है. तो ये ज्योग्राफिकल लोकेशन भी जो है वो हमें एक कल्चरल पैटर्न देता है जो बहुत हद तक सिमिलर हो जाता है, राइट. सिमिलरली फॉर एग्जांपल जो हम छठ मनाते हैं वो केवल बिहार का ही फीचर नहीं है, बल्कि वो ईस्टर्न यूपी का भी फीचर हो जाता है। सिमिलरली वेस्टर्न यूपी जो कि ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन का जो बेल्ट है, वहां के जो सोसाइटल फीचर्स हैं, वेस्टर्न यूपी हो गया, हरियाणा हो गया, पंजाब हो गया, ये बहुत मिलता जुलता नजर आता है। तो इस तरह से हम देखते हैं कि स्टेट के फॉर्मेशन से ऐसा नहीं है कि ये डाइवर्सिटी कंपार्टमेंट, ये कल्चरल मार्कर्स कंपार्टमेंटलाइज हो गई या लोकलाइज हो गई एक एरिया में, बल्कि हम देखते हैं कि स्टेट के फॉर्मेशन के बाद भी देयर आर वेरियस कल्चरल यूनिट्स व्हिच आर वेरी मच प्रेवलेंट इन आवर सोसाइटी, and which also, it adds to strength of the Indian society, leaving aside or taking the other stand also that sometimes it is problematic, but it largely connects. आज अब देखो जब छठ होता है तो even the Delhi government has also declared holiday, right? So this is what is the impact of cultural units that you have to trace and understand. So that's enough. I think it must have given you a fair idea if I say, and I hope so. And let's meet after your PT, because no point of discussing such issues right at this moment, because it demands writing practice, But meanwhile, you all have to be updated with the newspaper. कुछ लगे कि important आया, नहीं पढ़ पाए, at least उसको काट के अपने फाइल में लगा लो, उस पे लिख दो कि read later, corroborate it, कि किस तरह के ये कहाँ पे आपका fit हो जाएगा. Now you know that what is the syllabus of Indian society, what is the syllabus of social issues. So you just try to segregate it also. कुछ ऐसा लगे तो उसको अपने फाइल में मेंटेन कर लो कि ये हमको आगे मेंस में भी काम देगा. ठीक है? Any question as such? No?
No, ma'am.
Nishant, Abrashri, Amrita?
No, ma'am. Looking forward to your classes.
Certainly. Even I am. And I look forward to your positive result as well. So, yeah. So thank you so much. I'll end your meeting here. We'll meet soon. Right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you.